Hello. Isn't that a great way to greet you? Like with a "Wah!" Hello, hello. I'm not sure who is here. But I wanted to say hello. Happy Wednesday. We are here live for some Q&A if you guys have any questions. Hey Eureka. Yes. Eureka says, "Hey Terry, hope you and your pup are well." We are well. I'm actually I'm in bed. My back's a bit sore, my back and neck. So I thought, hey, Khaled. So I thought, instead of, just sitting and like doing such, it would just be easier on my back to do that. And then I have the pup here. She's in her cone of shame, but she's doing really good. Hey, Peaks and Streams. So nice to see you. So nice to see all you guys. If you're here, say hello. Say hello. How's Chelsea? Khaled is asking. She's actually really good. It's been an interesting adventure. So she had her anal glands removed. So if any of you guys are familiar, I don't know why you would be familiar unless you have a dog. There are these glands that are for territorial purposes, basically. So when dogs are sniffing each other's butts, it's kind of, I always call it the business card exchange. Yeah. And so they that it's an identification, right? It's like an imprint, an identification. Hey Sarah, how is Chelsea? I'm familiar. Yes, I know you are familiar as a vet. She's doing good. It was a very successful surgery. One of the concerns that I had was if the surgeon accidentally nicked something or ruptured something or whatever, then she could have what's called fecal incontinence for the rest of her life. And I was like, oh my God, talk about a risk. Hey, Bright27, nice to see you. Welcome. But the surgery went well. She is her crazy, silly self, which is great for right now. Everything's healing nicely. She's eating. I just wish she would drink more. So she's not drinking as much water, but she, thank God everything was well. It was successful. Biopsy came back, no cancer, no nothing like that. So we are good. So excited. So I'm really happy to be here with you guys. I will be back Friday as well for meditation. So we are well on our way. Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Katie's got Katie, what a great question. Katie asks, where did you get the name Chelsea from? Okay, you ready for this? I got to tell you. So when I was a little give, I used to take piano lessons, and my piano teacher got pregnant. I think it was like 7 or 8. I can't remember how old I was. She got pregnant, and she said she was going to name her daughter Chelsea. And I thought, wow, what a great name. If I ever have a female dog of my own, I'm going to name her Chelsea. And so I grew up with dogs, but I didn't necessarily get to name the dogs that I grew up with. My mom did. Yeah, it was primarily my mom. So we did have female dogs, but none of them were named Chelsea. So my very first dog, his name was Bonzo, short for a garbanzo bean, because the first picture that I saw of him, he was like 2 days old and he looked like a garbanzo bean. And this was last summer, last May. It's been about a year since I've had the Chelseanator. Hey, Mariam, nice to see you. And I knew it was his getting close to his time. He was in a lot of pain, and I knew that with the amount of anxiety that I suffer from, I can't not have an animal living with me. So I started to do some manifestation work on the perfect puppy for me. And after some time, because it takes time to manifest, contrary to what people like to think, because we live in a space-time continuum and it takes time to close that gap from where we are to where we want to be. I did finally find the right puppy. In a way, she was accidental, but not really. And when I went to the pound, to the shelter, I was actually going for some other dogs, because I had seen Chelsea, who's now my Chelsea. I had seen her. Hey, Della, so nice to see you. I had seen Chelsea on the website, but they really do a really crappy job of taking pictures of their animals that they want to get adopted. I mean, I noticed her, but I kind of glanced over her because I was like, I don't want a dog that looks like, you know what I'm saying? So when we went to the pound, I went with my best friend who like she's a matchmaker for animals and people. She's just like she finds the perfect dog or cat for people. She's placed so many animals. It's like such a passion. So we went to the pound and I saw her at at the what's it called? The pound at the shelter. Her name was Sabine. So when I walked by her kennel run, I was like, "Who's that?" And they're like, "That's Sabine." And I looked at her, I'm like, "That's Sabine?" I'm like, "I noticed her twice. I noticed her on the website, but I'm like, she looks so different." They're like, "Yeah, she's been groomed and she's been cleaned and washed." And I'm like, "Why don't you put pictures of the cleaned and washed animals, have been tended to? Why are you just putting in their like wretched, ratted out pictures?" Anyways, to make a long story short, I ended up getting Sabine. But since I had always wanted a girl dog, a female dog named Chelsea, I changed her name to Chelsea, and that's how I got Chelsea. But she has so many nicknames. I call her Choochie, the Chelseanator, Chelseakins, Chusey, um, all of these names. So that's how I got the name Chelsea. Katie. Uh, Katie saying she loves that story. You have a dog named Maisie. They will always find you, don't they? Don't they? Della says they do take the worst photos. Would you ever adopt again? Yes. Well, I adopted my first dog too. Technically, um, he was born and there's an area. It's a really terrible area. It's like the hood kind of area in like a area in Los Angeles called Pacoima, and like the people that had him had like so many dogs, and so they couldn't keep the dogs. And so again, this is my best friend, she knew of the dog, and so I got him. I took him, so I adopted him from this house. They were going to give the dog away, the litter. I mean, when I went to go visit to meet the dog for the first time, there were like dogs every. It was just like a hot mess of a scene. So I adopted him, and then Chelsea, I rescued or I adopted from the shelter as well. I am a person who would prefer to adopt than to buy through a breeder. Look, you do you, right? I am not gonna judge you. My sister's she loves Frenchies, so she has a breeder that she buys Frenchies from. Fine. As long as you are taking good care and you're being healthy and loving and kind and compassionate, that to me it doesn't matter. My preference is to adopt. I was looking into rescue dogs too as well, but it ended up and it played out that through rescues, it ended up that I got her from a shelter from the pound. So I would totally do it again, like for sure. And my other dog also had health issues. So hopefully Chelsea doesn't, she's still young. She's going to be 2 years old in July. So she's almost two. And she was having problems with her anal glands. And when they did a biopsy, it ends up being that she had what's called anal sacculitis. Just, they were just like really inflamed and all of that. So, they were removed, and now she's just healing from it, and hopefully she won't have any more issues. Chelsea, come here. They want to see you. Let me see Mariam if I can get her. The Chelseanators, Sarah, huh? Isn't that funny? Come here, Chelsea. Chelsea, come here. Come here. Come say hello. Will you come say hello? Come here. Come here, baby girl. You have fans. They want to see you. Will you say hello? Here. Will you say hello? Will you say hello? There she is. Thank you, baby girl. Oh, yes, lots of kisses. Okay, now I'm going to displace you again because this is hurting my back to be in this position. But this is for you, Mariam. She's saying hello now. She's putting her head down on the keyboard, and that's not going to be very Good. Now I gotta move her again, and she's like I call her my real life squeaky toy because she makes so many sounds. Anyways, all right, I'm here for you guys. Thank you, Della. She's poking her little cone of shame over the laptop. So, how are you guys doing? How's everybody doing? Um, it didn't seem to be, at least to me, it didn't seem to be a really crazy energetic week. It was pretty flatlined. That was my sense. I don't know what you guys are thinking and feeling. Other than I'm tired. All right, Sarah. I got a super chat from Sarah. Let's see what's going on. Keeping on the dog theme, when do you see me adopting another dog? Two came up. Hold on. So I feel like there's still some more settling that needs to be happening with you. I don't know if you understand this. I don't know. And when I mean settling, I feel like there's a lot of movement in terms of location. So I don't know. I don't know if are you home? Are you done? I don't know. Anyways, I feel like there still needs to be more settling down. I got the number 2. So I almost feel like it would probably be more like in around 2 months from now is when I feel like you'll be more able to give the attention and the time to a new rescue, right? Or a new adopted dog. There's always that time period of making them feel comfortable and all of that. But I feel like there's something about 2. I don't know that I would go so far as to say 2 years. That feels like a little bit too far out. It feels better when I say 2 months, but I still, even with 2 months, I feel like there's some flexibility or it's kind of fluid. So, it just feels like in 2 months, not even within, but like in 2 months, you'll probably be more settled. I don't know why I want to say that. And probably more able or apt to adopt a new dog. Um, Sarah's asking if it could be 2 dogs. I mean, maybe. It could be. The reason why I'm saying it could be is because I feel like you're the kind of person who would have more than 1 dog at a time. I think right now you just have 1 dog, but I feel like you're the kind of person where, like, once you're either more settled or you'll be staying at one place for a bit of time, you would have more than 1 dog. So you it could easily be 2 dogs. I kind of feel like do you hear that snoring? That's the little Choochykins. She's a brachiocephalic dog, flat face, so she snorts a lot. Hey, Della, I see you. I'll be with you in just a moment. So, yeah, I mean, it could be 2 dogs, but I feel like ultimately you would have like 2 more than 1 dog. You could have 3 at one time. So, hopefully that helps. Della, I have the same question. After rehoming my last dog, I've been scared and guilty to take in another. When do you see me getting a dog, if at all? I don't think you're gonna get I think you have to still get over, like, your heart. There's guilt. I don't know if you, understand that or not, but I feel like you're still harboring the guilt, and until you can let that guilt go and feel bad or like you did something wrong for having to rehome, it's gonna be hard for you to sort of open up your heart to the right dog. Look, I gotta tell you, when you want to get another dog or 2 dogs or whatever, or have any kind of relationship, right? Let's call it a relationship. Um, you want to have an open heart. And I feel like your heart is still a little bit like I mean, I know you're saying scared and you're saying feel guilty. Like you're going to have to kind of get over that. That doesn't mean you have to forget your previous bubbas, right? It's a very delicate fine dance. Um but there's some self-forgiveness that will help you with that guilty feeling. Um you did what you could for what you were capable of doing. So it's like your mission with that pup played out. So you did the best you could. You don't have to continue beating yourself up. You don't have to continue torturing yourself. As soon as you can kind of make peace, everything's about making peace, you guys. Everything is about making peace with with any situation. That's when you kind of clear the slate and you have a new platform to jump off of. So you're asking when. I like with Sarah, I had more of like a time. With you, it's more like when you give yourself the compassion, the kindness, and the mercy of forgiving yourself for that, then you'll have that open heart to start magnetizing that right dog for you. Okay. Okay, so those are, I just want to make sure I didn't miss any other super chats, and then we'll go to the general questions. No. Okay, so we're going to go back to the general questions now. So we have peaks and streams. I was curious if the answers you give us come to you as a vision, or is it something you hear? If it's a vision, is it dreamlike? Are you able to psychically feel the energy? Really great questions. So I have two primary, I should say primary and secondary. We all have different ways in which we communicate. Um, my primary is through feeling. So I feel information. So I'll feel the color blue. I'll feel, like, uh, I don't know. I'll feel like what it feels like to, I don't know how to explain it. I feel information. Like I'll feel paisley is like a pattern. I won't necessarily see it as a pattern, right? But I will hear, and then my secondary is clairaudience, where I will hear information. So yes, sometimes I hear information, which either will happen to me as a disembodied voice, so that information will be outside of me, or it'll be in my mind's ear. Okay, so that's how I get information. Oh, Kapil. Hi there, Kapil. I see that you've super chatted me, but I don't see a question unless you're just making a donate. Oh, there we go. There's your question, Kapil. Hi, Terrie. I have a job interview coming up. Will it be successful and at an amazing salary? Wow, I'm going to pull a card on that one because I'm feeling very stuck. Like I think you're so anxious and you're so like mental about it. I'm not saying you're mental, but like you're being so mental about it that you're like really blocking your blessings on it. Um I feel like I want to say like I don't know if it's this particular one. Like you're close. You're close. Yeah, you're very close. Um if this isn't the job for you, you're very close. And it's there, this could be, but I think because I think you're so mental about it, you're pushing it away. You're pushing this opportunity away. So you're activating law of repulsion. You have to be, you put it this way. Your confidence in yourself has to be much higher than it is. Um your clarity isn't that clear. You have to know what you want and what you need. And when you have those things, there's nothing to negotiate. Salaries you can negotiate, but needs and wants you cannot negotiate. And that's where I feel like you're sticky. You're being too sticky. You're not very clear. It's almost as if you're hoping this job is for you instead of you saying no, 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 no. I am matched with this job. So you're still kind of coming from a victimy place where you're giving this too much power. Like if you don't get this, then you're a failure or you suck or you're a bad person or something. Turn it around by becoming clear with what you need and what you want. So when you go in that interview, you can leave that interview knowing you can choose it if you want. But you can only choose something if you know what you need and you know what you want. So have an idea. You need more clarity. I'm glad you have a job opportunity coming up because I kind of feel like this is a really important, actually, this is really important because this is an opportunity for you to practice. Now, does the practice lead to the final result? It could. What do I mean by that? Hey, Bright 27, I see you. I will get to you in just a moment. What do I mean by that? I mean, you can go into this interview and you know you want, for example, unless this is your case, but you know you don't want to work for a company where there's than a 10-minute drive. You know that you need to have a minimum salary of $65,000, right? When you go into that interview and you find out, oh, this place is further than 25 minutes or X minutes, and this has a salary below, da da da, then it's a no. You know this, you make your choice, your decision, you're gone. You leave, you say no. You don't hang around hoping to be chosen for something that you don't really want or need. You get to curate your experience. But you can only do that from a place of power and not victimization. And right now, you're being too mental about it. You're hoping, you're wanting so much that you get picked instead of you doing the picking. So it can be successful for you. And this can be an amazing job, but you have to choose it. So that's why I'm saying this is really great practice. Now, what could happen when I'm seeing the potential and possibility, remember guys, there's no when I do any of this intuitive work, I'm channeling timelines, potential possibilities. Your choices determine what your actual reality is, right? So um you get to curate this experience. So there could be a string of interviews within this one potential that you get to practice. Okay. So that means you might have to interview the first time, interview with some other people, and then be called in for another interview. And this entire time, you're getting very, very clear. Hey, Hannah, I see you in just a moment. You need to be able to go to do in order to get the next one, you have to be super clear and need on what you want with this. Okay. I hope that makes sense, Kapil. But you need to like really come from a different mindset and a different headspace. But you're very close. If this isn't, that's why I'm saying this could be the position or it could not, because I feel like there's a series of maybe hoops, you want to call it, that you have to get through. It's not just, oh, you'll know after one interview. There could be a series of interviews. So make sure you're super clear on your needs and wants. Okay. Okay. Bright 27. Do you have a question? I don't see, I mean, I see your super chat, but I don't see your question. All right. Hannah sent in a super chat. Let's see here. Can you see me getting success if I pursue my creative passions more like singing, music, and YouTube? Yeah. All right, okay, you're almost getting the same message as Kapil. What's your definition of success here? Because the way I see you getting success may not be the same way you're defining success, and what's important is how you are defining success because that is part of your soul evolution, right? My idea of success is enjoying and having a good time. When you are enjoying yourself and having a good time, you will make money from it, right? You will monetize it. You will be able to spread your message. But you have to know what you need and what you want in order to feel that happiness or that joy or whatever, right? So anytime you pursue a creative passion, you will always enjoy the experience. You need to not have an expectation, they're saying. Don't have an expectation of how it'll play out or when. But if you do your creative passion, then yes, you will have success. You will find that joy. It just could take time. Just don't have an expectation of when. You get to curate your experience, and in that process, you magnetize, attract, or you repel, right? This is all energy. I can't teach you guys how to do this in like And when I do this, I'm working with someone one-on-one. We're going deep. We're really getting into the dynamics of energy, how to manipulate it within ourselves and outside of ourselves. So anything that I tell you here, it's like minimal, it's like it's very surface, right? Okay. So hopefully there you go. Um okay, hold on a second. Let's see. So Bright, did you write your question? There it is. Hi, what are your thoughts on spiritual warfare? I feel like I'm experiencing this. All right. Spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare is to me, and this is just me. Spiritual warfare is a collective energy. And are you feeding into it? So if you're going to make it an individual thing, so are you saying that you're feeling like you're getting psychically attacked? Is that what you're saying? Because spiritual warfare is like, it's really an attack on your spiritual ideas, right? It's a collective kind of thing. So you get to choose whether you're feeding into it or not. So energy influences energy, right? So that's not to say that outside energy is trying to influence whether positive or negative. If you're saying warfare, you're probably saying negative, right? So if energy influences energy, which is the nature of energy, and negative energy is coming to you, you have a responsibility and you are accountable for your own energy. And you get to receive and allow it, or you get to push it away and repel it. But the only way to do any of that is to have mindfulness and awareness of what your energy is and how to balance or manage it. Because if you don't know how to do that, anything incoming is going to attack you, if that makes any sense. So typically, when there is an attack or there's like warfare or any negative energy being thrown at you or, bombarding you, if you are not strong in your knowingness of yourself, you will allow yourself to be attacked. You have to understand something. The physical human has an energetic body and a mental body. A lot of times when you're dealing with psychic attacks or spiritual warfare, you're dealing with the mental body. Are you mentally strong enough to say no? Are you emotionally, now we're talking to the emotional body, are you emotionally aware and sensitive enough to feel something's off? So if your mental awareness and your emotional awareness is like, then guess what? You get to choose, use your God-given gift of free will to not accept. So I know I'm giving you a really long roundabout way. But typically, if you're getting if you're feeling like you're psychically attacked, you're allowing it. You're not, and you don't know yourself good enough. I know that's harsh. So, those are my thoughts on spiritual warfare. So, if you're feeling like you're experiencing this, you have to work on yourself. You have to get to know yourself. You have to become more brave and courageous to learn how to manage and balance and regulate your energy better. That's what I do. I teach people how to do all of this stuff, right? You have to do that. Otherwise, so most of the time it is that your mental state is out of alignment and your emotional state is out of alignment. That's usually what it is. Okay. Okay, let me go back up. I want to make sure I got everybody's super chat. Okay, Katie, are you able to answer questions like, do you see me getting married, or is that too general? I know we need to be specific, but I've also seen you tell people in reading, I get confused what to ask. So, Katie, if I have to answer a question specifically for you, where I have to tune my energy into you instead of just like the general collective of like, like what's the, like, I don't know, what are your thoughts on, I don't know, like, I don't know, whatever, just a general that the question can be posed to everybody. If it's a specific one for you, then it is a super chat. There has to be an energy exchange because I have to like manipulate and work harder to tune into your energy. I hope that answers your question. Do you ever see me getting married? I mean, yeah, that's a very general question. But right now, I don't have the time to go so specifically detailed with you. You have to book a one-on-one with me. So these are just general, short, sweet, fast, quick readings here. If you need something really detailed or you need something more specific to you, more life guidance, I would suggest you book a one-on-one with me. Okay. Eureka. Oh my God, I was gonna ask about my YouTube channel. Guides being amazing as always. See, there you go. There is spirit is intelligence. Absolutely intelligent. Hannah is saying you're so right, Terry. Thank you. You're welcome. Peaks and streams. Terry, what did you want to be when you grew up? When I was a kid, I really wanted to be Wonder Woman. I loved Wonder Woman. I had like a Wonder Woman play set with the invisible airplane. I mean, who wouldn't want a lasso of truth? My God. As I started like getting older, I still have this like passion for musical theater. Like I would have loved to be like a Broadway musical star. Yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to be when I grew up. Hey, Sammy, nice to see you. Katie says, okay, thank you. Yeah. So, like, when people are asking, like Sarah was asking specifically for her, Della was asking specifically for her, right? Bright was, asking specifically. So, like, those are super chats. So, there's no minimum or maximum. You give what you want to give, but I have to like operate differently. All right, let's see. Did I miss anything? Let's go back. I was curious if the answers you gave us come to you vision or something like that. So yeah. So like, visions and sounds and all that stuff, um they're very personal to you. So I have a tendency to communicate um to receive communication like the way I learn. So I'm an experiential learner because I have to touch things. I'm kinesthetic, right? I have to feel things. I learn better by hearing it like a book on tape versus reading a book, right? To retain information. It's just how I am. But those are what the five senses are, right? Clairsentience is feeling or touch, getting information. Clairaudience is through sound. Clairvoyance is through sight. Clairaudience is through smell. Clairgustance is through taste. And then there's the sixth sense is claircognizance, which is just knowing. You just know information. That just kind of like funnels right through you. Now we have all five. Excuse me. Well, we have five human senses, and then the sixth sense is just all knowingness, right? So we have all of those. We have a tendency to have a primary and a secondary, sometimes a tertiary, and then I don't know what you call a fourth. But because there is intelligence to the spirit world, they will also communicate with you through whatever they feel, whatever sense you'll be strongest at that moment. Because there will be times where I'm reading for somebody or I'm giving somebody some guidance or I'm working with them, and all of a sudden I'll have a smell and then I'll communicate that information, and that information helps them, right? Or I'll have a taste in my mouth or something like that. But primarily, I'm clairsentient, and then I'm clairaudient, I hear. Hannah has another question. Super chat. Can I get clarity on why D reached out to me and then disappeared again? I'm confused by his actions. Yeah. Poor D. I feel bad for D. I don't feel bad for you. I feel like you are really starting to know thyself, right? You're starting to understand what your needs and wants are in relationship. He can't, he popped up because your energy, remember, energy influences energy. Some people need a hit of other people's energy because it makes them feel good, or it makes them feel safe, or it makes them feel comfortable. So your energy does that for him. The problem is he doesn't have the emotional intelligence or the emotional maturity to continue staying connected. So he drops in for a hit like an addict and then he leaves because he doesn't have that emotional maturity or the emotional intelligence to stick around and go, well, what happens if I stuck around in Hannah's energy? So he's an avoidant. So it has nothing to do with you other than the fact that your energy influences his energy in a positive way. You make him feel good. I hope that makes sense. Yurika says, when I'm giving psychic readings, my nose gets so itchy. My nose gets itchy when I do mediumship readings. Do you ever get weird symptoms when you're giving readings? Yes, 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 yes. So, and it happens actually a lot of times. Well, for me, it's when there's a spirit nearby. My nose will start to itch. So if you ever see me, touching my nose, and it's funny because sometimes I'll touch it so much it gets red. I've been called Rudolph by some people. It's kind of funny. But yeah, I get the itchy nose. So I have the same thing. I used to get what I call the crunchies. Hey Katie, I see you. Just one second. I just want to finish this thought. When I was first when I first came online to all of the fact that I was so sensitive and I wanted to feel the different sensations, I used to get what's called I called them the crunchies, which it felt like someone was like touching my hair on my scalp. And so I knew that there would be a spirit around, or some sort of energetic shift, because I would get the crunchies. That's what I would call it, right? But it evolves and it comes and goes, and we have different things different times. I have a lot of certifications and a lot of training in different healing modalities, so I have different sensations going on in my body all the freaking time. But when spirit is around, I have a tendency, I mean, I'll get the crunchies, not as much. It's kind of evolved to the itchy nose. So, all right, Katie, thank you for the super chat. Let's see. Katie, I received a weird piece of mail in my mailbox last week that has my old address. Did my ex drop it off? I'm trying not to read into it. Well, you are. You're not doing a good job of not reading into it. I don't think it came from your ex. I don't think it came from your ex. You are reading into it as much as you don't want to. Sorry. Gonna call a spade a spade. You know me. I'm always very honest and transparent. Hopefully I'm not being too mean. But yeah, you're reading too much into it. Sometimes the mail makes a mistake, or sometimes things get pushed back, or whatever. I'm really not getting that it's an X thing. I'm really not getting that it's an X thing. I'm getting more you're hoping it's an X thing. But don't try and read into it. Did you open it up, by the way? Did you so you know what it is? Or is it just like an empty envelope with just your old I mean, yeah. I'm not getting it's from the ex. I'm getting you're hoping it's from your ex. Yeah. You did open it. Good. I'm glad you opened it. But it doesn't have my new address on it. That's okay. It's okay. Sarah. Okay, I'm attending a wedding next week and we'll see a lot of old friends I haven't seen in years. I'm a little nervous to see them again. Any advice? Mhm. This would be my advice, because I think there might be some comparison going on here. And I think that's where the insecurity is coming in. The advice I would give to you, what they're saying is you should, like the night before, you should review and go over all of your accomplishments. Do it the night before you go to sleep and the morning that you wake up, so that when you see them, that's in your energy. Therefore, what's in your energy field, remember, energy influences energy, right? So, therefore, you have more confidence. It's like more pride, a sense of accomplishment. Those are the frequencies you'll be vibrating in. I feel like you're going to have a good time. So, I don't think there's really, much. I don't think there's really much that you have to be worried or concerned about. Okay. But let us know. Hey, Dallas, so great to see you too. I'm so glad you could make it. Um, okay. Eureka, message retracted. Okay. Katie, I opened it. Okay, good. Eureka, I am glad I'm not the only one with the itchy nose. Yeah. Katie, but it doesn't have my new address on it. I'm telling you, the mails, I mean, weird things happen. The fact that you're the fact that you're putting so much of your attention and your focus on it, you're really leaking your energy. It's not important unless it was a threat or there was like, something that you would be exposed to that would create some sort of danger. You're putting too much energy on it. Mistakes and weird things happen all the time. So I don't know how it could have been forwarded. Okay. I mean, wh- your question was, did it come from my ex? I don't feel like it came from your ex, right? If you're putting way too much attention on this, like you're putting so much of your energy on this, it's like not even worth it. Yeah, I know I'm reading into it. Wow, I'll try harder. Haha. You just stop reading into it. Just stop. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. Something got to you. Your old address is on it. Your new address isn't on it, but it got to you. It's all good. It's fine. So Dallas, those questions that are personal, like specific to you, when you get a super chat, I go ahead and I ask them. But if they're like general questions, like, hey, what's the employment situation out there for most people? Like it's different. So I can look into, you specifically. Um, yeah, with super chat. Okay, I want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats, and then I'll just go back to get to everybody's. Yeah. You guys, remember, we live in duality, right? So if we have a stick, on one end of the stick is cool, yummy, wonderful, positive stuff. On the other side is awful, ugly, terrible, shitty, crappy, negative stuff. Where are you putting your attention? Are you thinking or reviewing? Are you marinating on the good, yummy stuff or the crappy, crappy, what if, how the hell do I know, what if, yucky stuff? Because that is where you're placing your attention. And you have to understand that is what you are drawing to you ultimately through the process of law of attraction. It's not a one and done. Right. So for example, Katie, where are you placing your awareness on the what if, what if, what if? Well, how about like the how cool I still got it, even though my address wasn't correct, but yet I still got the mail. Awesome. Because if that was a paycheck, that would have been awesome. Do you understand? You get to choose, you get to curate the point of view where you're pointing your attention. We live in duality, good, bad, skinny, fat, rich, poor. Where are you putting your attention? Right? Does it matter that's a weird piece of mail? I mean, like, you see what I'm saying? Uh, let's see. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I'm so tired. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, wait. BT. Hi, BT. When I get a psychic reading, especially a long one, I feel energy. When you get a psychic reading or you give a psychic reading? Can you clear that up for me? Peaks and streams. I like going back to the shitty end of the stick. Helps me enjoy the nice side more. Look, the only reason to go to a shitty side of the stick is to realize that you have power to get yourself off of the shitty side of the stick. That's the nature of being human, right? Like we can't that's what contrast is about. So like if you ever listen to Abraham Hicks, that's what they're talking about contrast. You don't know good unless you know bad. Duality, right? You have to know one to know the other. Opposites, right? But if you live too much in the shitty, guess what? You create your life out of shitty. But your power, your growth, your evolution comes from the awareness and the mindfulness and the consciousness that you're living in shitty and you don't want it anymore. And then you get to take yourself out of shitty and transform, alchemize, transmute yourself into yummy, from shitty to yummy. Eureka, my mail took forever to get me because I was fixating on the fact that it took forever. So what were you activating? Law of repulsion. BT, when I get read on, is that weird? I'm not intuitive. You don't look, you are sensitive is what you are, BT. You're sensitive. So the reason why you have to learn to use that superpower for good instead of bad. Okay, good. Peaks and streams. I'm glad that you're just joking. Okay, so BT, when you are getting a reading and you're being exhausted, you're getting wiped out. So what's happening is you're not setting a good enough because like when you so there's an exchange, right? There's an allowance, there's a permission for somebody to use your energy in order to read it, right? So you just have to learn, and it takes practice. You have to learn how to take control over your energy and just go, I'm going to give this amount of energy so that they can read and give me the information, but I'm not going to give everything so that they suck it out. Um, so what I would do is I wouldn't get a reading when you're feeling tired already or exhausted, right? And then I would set a boundary with myself that these and you got to be like super clear with the questions. Don't go general, get really specific. This is the information I need to know and this is the information I'm seeking. So this is the only information they're going to be able to tap into, which is why it's good for you to be very specific. If you come to me and you don't have a very specific question, I'm going to give you a general answer. That means I am looking and searching and downloading and feeling, it's primarily feeling. I'm feeling and hearing your energy, which means I'm getting all up in you, right? Yeah, that can be exhausting. I got to take that energy, not really take that energy, but I got to get into your energy, which means I have to step over any boundaries, but you're giving me permission to do it, especially when you're paying me, you're giving me permission. And I got to start, playing around and like looking and hearing and seeing and feeling and tasting and smelling and all of that, right? So if you're just going to say, I'm a fucking open book, here we go, just do whatever you want. Ow, that hurt my neck and back. My apologies. I shouldn't have been, I keep forgetting, like my back is sore. Um, and then I get reminded. Thank you, physical body. Um, you're giving me access to everything about you. I don't deserve to have all of that access. So you're giving too much access of yourself because you have to know thyself, right? It always comes back to getting that control over your energy, right? So that's why. And you don't have to be intuitive for that to happen. You just are sensitive to energy. You actually are probably very emotionally intelligent, but don't know how to master your emotions or be more resilient and bounce back from them, right? Shameless plug here. That's what I do, you guys. I teach you how to manage, balance, regulate, get emotional mastery over your energy. Energy is a very, very expensive currency. Energy, in many, many ways, is more important than money. But we're not taught that. We're taught to focus on the money, for example, right? Uh, what the media likes to do is produce fear, which is an energy, right? So they get to scare you into thinking, acting, being, and doing a certain way when it may not even be real, right? So that's why you have to know thyself, know your own energy so you can say yes to this and no to this. Then you get to actually curate your own personal experience and you don't live in the matrix. All right. Well, it looks like we might be done for today. I don't see any more super chats, so I don't think I missed anybody's super chat, and I don't see any more general questions. So I think we're gonna cut it for. Oh wait, there's one. Eureka just said yes. Sometimes I want to give all of my money away if I could feel good all of the time. Yeah, I hear you. BT says, okay, cool, thanks. I've told other psychics about this, and I think they thought I was being facetious. No, I think it's legit. I mean, a lot of so you have to understand something. I'm an energist. Yes, I'm a psychic and a medium. I'm an intuitive healer, but I'm an energist, right? So I'm very sensitive to energy. And everything is energy. I know how energy works. I have experimented and played with energy, so I know how to manipulate it, right? A lot of psychics, mediums, they don't know the intricate details of it. So if you're asking them and they think you're being facetious, it's not so much that they think you're being facetious, it's that they don't have the knowledge of how energy works. So they don't understand or get why it would affect you in that way. So in their minds, they may not believe you that this is happening, but it's legit, it's real. If you're emotionally, which is energy in motion, sensitive or just highly aware, even if your brain isn't, remember, we have a mental body, an emotional body, and a physical body, right? So those bodies act independently and then cohesively together as a unit, right? So to me, it doesn't sound weird or you're being facetious or you're lying or anything like that. Because I mean, it's a matter of that's what an empath is. It's like you just have to learn how to control yourself better. That's all. I didn't know if anyone else experienced this. I would say most people here who are watching this, whether it's live or in the replay, they're a spiritual. Hey, spread positivity. Oh my God, that's so cute. Nice to see you. I would say most people, at least watching this channel or writing in or even my clients or who if you gravitate towards me, you are a spiritual empath. You have these very high sensitivities, oftentimes out of emotional control, have anxiety, um, get outside energy that influences you. And most of the time, an empath will allow that to happen. So they think it's actually their energy or they think they're being psychically attacked or something like that. You're not alone. You're not alone. A lot of people I mean, these are your people. You're not alone. You're not alone. Eureka, thank you, Terry. These readings are so educational, even when it's for other people's readings. Yeah, that's because spirit is intelligence. Spirit is intelligent. It's divine energy with intelligence, you know? All right, you guys. I will see you Friday. Friday for meditation, right? We'll connect to our higher souls on Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific. Eureka, Terry, you are really down to earth, even though you're an empath. girl, I have had to work hard on this. I had to learn how to do this. This is not something that came natural to me. I had to learn how to do it. When you learn how to do it, it becomes a superpower. You are no longer its bitch. You are no longer controlled by chaos. You become uh, uh an understander, if that's a word, an understander of the fact that you have a human body, but you are a spiritual being. Now, that's not saying that I'm perfect, and it's not saying that I don't get flare ups, because I do, and I evolve. I have my own soul contract that I'm evolving. So, by no means am I saying I'm perfect and I'm done and I'm ready and all of that stuff. Because if that were the case, I wouldn't even be in this physical form. I'd be some sort of saint or something. No, 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 no. But I've worked really hard, very long, and learned and understand how energy works. It's not just about getting psychic readings. It's not just about doing Reiki. It's not just about being a vegan. It's not. It's really understanding the depths of being being a spiritual being that has a human experience. So because I was able to learn it, I can teach it, right? And that's all I can say. Khalid is saying Friday meditation. Woohoo. Yay. All right, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Stay connected. Keep that beautiful heart open, you guys. Keep your heart open. It is the healer, it is the transformer, it is the alchemizer. Your heart will change the world. You just got to keep it open. And it's not easy to do when you're a human. So we just continually keep at it. Yes. And we do it together. All right, guys, stay connected. See you soon.